you know, if you go and interview somebody who's dying from cancer, but they're wanting the drug that they think will make a difference to their life to be available in the NHS rather than them pay it, well, you can get their, you know, help get their message out, and sometimes in a small way, even though you, yeah, we might be the carrier pigeons. We don't necessarily write the message, but we're the carrier. You know, we bring the information, other people's information, and we
give them a voice.
Put it out there, give them a voice, and that can be really rewarding. But again, the variety of it, you come in and you just don't know necessarily what you're going to be doing that day.
In terms of really big challenges, that's often when you're out of your comfort zone and you're in an unfamiliar situation, or perhaps don't have the resources available to you that you want. So it can be frustrating, but then you have to sort of try and be clever about it. It does force you into thinking quite creatively. I've been in a situation where I've been there, but I've not had a camera, and sometimes you have to kind of be exceptionally persuasive, or you know, deal with a situation where you're trying to delay somebody from leaving because you want the camera to get there in time so you can actually get the interview and get the scoop, if you like. Some of the most difficult situations I've had have been ones where I've had personal involvement, or I've known people who have been involved in the news, and that can be very difficult. You know, sometimes when you get to my age, I suppose I'm 40 now, you meet people, and some way along the way a tragedy might befall them, or a family member, so that can be difficult. It's been a few times I've been on the news and I've known somebody that's been involved in some dreadful crimes, you know, as the victims of it, and you think, well, it's tragic, but yeah, you have to be, I suppose, dispassionate to a sense, but it does make you a bit more sympathetic and a bit more kind of understanding of people who find themselves in that kind of situation. Things like Facebook and Twitter have made people have a direct passageway. That's a challenge to us as well, because if you like, somebody says, well, I don't need the media now because I can broadcast my own message, but I suppose unless you are somebody who's got a massive fan base or a massive amount of followers, the media is still a pretty handy way to get your message across to the most number of people. Editing, we didn't used to edit when I started here. We had people who edited tape, videotape as it was, and now it's all digital editing, as I'm sure most people are aware of it. That's the thing. My sons are young, but they're completely au fait with the idea of editing pictures, editing sound together. But we had to learn to do that, and I think it was 2003. So that was a big change, but it's one I enjoy now. It gives you creative control.
You got a lot of adapting.
Exactly, yeah, but yeah, you do. You have to constantly adapt, and things continually change. So, you know, in the 10 years I've been here, we didn't used to have a satellite truck. We've now got a satellite truck and access to 2 others. So the number of live reports that we're able to do, again, that was a different discipline that people had to learn pretty quickly, and just the immediacy of it. We use smartphones now to take a picture of an event. If we're there without a camera, we can immediately send a picture to the STV website. You can write 3 or 4 paragraphs about a story, and within a minute or two, you can have the first impression of something up on the web for people to look at it. And it makes it very vital, and certainly it probably eats into our hanging around time.
Do you say it's easier now or harder now?
I suppose everyone says it's always harder. It's easier in some ways because it's more rapid. Everything's rapid, but that brings an extra demand to it. And the competition is phenomenal. Before, we might have seen ourselves as competing with the other terrestrial news providers, which in Scotland was reporting Scotland on the BBC. But I think now, the way that people consume information, you guys consume information, you want to know in the instant. You know, if you've got a Twitter account, you want to know if there's a breaking story. You know, you would perhaps expect to get a tweet from us or from the BBC or somebody saying, well, look, there's a big news story happening in Aberdeen, or there's a big thing, and that would then direct you to a news site where you could learn more about it. You know, people find themselves gravitating very quickly towards the television. You know, if it's a 9/11 kind of thing, or even the helicopter crash here, or if it's really bad weather. You know, if the snow's incredibly bad here, people just think, oh, I want to see what's happening, and they will sit down at 6 o'clock. So it does seem to be more instant, a bit more disposable, but incredibly demanding.
Like more demanding than it used to be.
Yeah, I think the demands are just higher and higher. And obviously now, there's you holding a camera videoing, but also, we're training up video journalists as well. So not only are they having to report, they're having to film and edit, write the whole thing. So they're literally creating it from its germination to its
Conclusion.
just get as much experience as you can, show willing, show enthusiasm, be knowledgeable. You'd be surprised the number of people that turn up here for work experience who either don't really know what we do, haven't watched the programme. It could be Tuesday before they've actually watched some of the bulletins that we've done. You kind of think, well, if you're keen to get a position in this career, in this industry, then surely you would do a bit of homework. You would watch the product, you would learn, you would find out who the presenters are, what kind of stories they cover. It's all these kind of things, little bits of homework. Just do as much research as you can, and and if you show insight, show passion, that's usually manna. People who are producers and editors, they just want somebody who's on the same wavelength as them to come along and say, yeah, that's cool, and I suppose be given that opportunity to know that you can deliver. It's quite an autonomous job. You don't work in big teams. You pretty much get sent out to bring home the story. This is the story, go and bring it back. If you don't bring it back, you don't often get a second chance to try again. So the pressure's there, but if you're well prepared and you've got a bit of gumption, it can be a fantastic and a really rewarding career.